Cool. We're going. Okay. I'm trying out this new camera that I got. It's got a wider lens. I'm looking at the screen more than I am the camera. Maybe I'll try to maintain eye contact here. How's it going? John DeCampos from Terrible Games. And today is just another milestone in the development for Black Mold. This is a game that we're going to be doing a campaign for sometime in the summer or fall. It might be kind of cool if we ran the campaign around Halloween, considering it's a horror survival game. We haven't done a ton of talking about this particular project on the YouTube channel, mostly in the board game development groups that I'm in on Facebook. But today, I have this package from the Game Crafter. This is a new element that we're adding based off of some notes we got off the playtesting. I had one playtest where I played with a bunch of people at No Land Beyond, people that I didn't know, cold playtesters. So I taught the game, and I read in this piece of flavor text that we had in the rule booklet when a fungal thrall generates. So if you're not familiar with Black Mold, in this game, you're a prisoner trapped in a subterranean compound that's overgrown with black fungal growths that emit toxic hallucinogenic spores into the air. So you have to limit your exposure because it deteriorates you slowly over time. And that's simulated in the game by players having their turn last as long as they're able to hold their breath. So it's really tense. It can get sort of like panicky. But I read this piece of flavor text in the rule booklet as they did something for the first time in their playtest. And at the end, the note was that they really, really loved the flavor text. And the atmosphere of the game they thought was just really cool, but they just wanted more of that atmosphere and more story and flavor in the actual table on the game versus some passages in the rule booklet. So we cooked up this new element called plot cards. So the way these will work, the way they're going to work for now, we've kind of ascertained that we know we're going to be able to implement these mechanically in the game. How they're going to actually interact with the player's turn is something that might require some tinkering. But this is a deck of 50 tarot-sized cards. And every time you reveal a new area in the game, you will draw one of these cards. So the first thing we'll cover is something that's a little bit more on the sleepy side. Let me just make sure that we have everything here. Oh, these turned out pretty cool. Okay, right. So the other note that we got out of a lot of the playtests that we did, and we did a whole rack of playtesting throughout PAX Unplugged and a couple games that we did in No Land Beyond, was that we needed some more comprehensive player aids. So we added these. Just make sure the light isn't bouncing too hard off of these guys, but these basically are just quick little reference cards to exactly how the turn structure works and what the damage penalties do when you cover stuff up on the card. And if you're interested about learning anything about this game, you can go to blackmoldgame.com. So in the back of the plot cards, it's actually really hard to see, which is kind of cool because sort of the idea is that its visibility is low. So I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera, but there's like a black silhouette that represents just sort of a general all of the different prisoners you can play as throughout the game. And then there's 50 cards. So when you draw a new area, you'll draw one of these cards. And I'll go ahead and shuffle this deck and see what we get for the first draw. Some of them are going to be blanks, which we're referring to them as madness cards. And the madness cards don't do anything technically. If you actually read the incoherent ramblings that are scrawled on the cards themselves, there are little hidden messages that affect gameplay. It's just up to you to notice them. Black Mold is sort of weird in that way, but these are sort of done from a first-person perspective. So you can see on this madness card, there's some words that are sort of written in this snaking sort of pattern, and it's just the prisoner sort of looking at their own hands, like kind of taking stock of things. But we'll draw the first one off of the event deck, and we generated a fungal thrall. So one thing that can happen is that fungal thralls, other prisoners who have been overtaken by the Black Mold, can just generate at random when you pull from the plot deck. And madness card, and madness card, madness card, madness card. So you're sort of like, every time you go into a new room, you're going to experience something new. And it could be nothing. It could be something that ends up killing you more efficiently. Wow. Okay, so hold on. I just want to see what our numbers are looking like so far. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 cards pulled out of 50, and we haven't experienced a plot card yet, of which there are 17 total. Okay. So the first one we get, and we'll give you an idea of how these cards actually work. This one's called Where Am I? So what you get on these cards is a piece of flavor, a title, a piece of artwork that goes to the edge at the top of the top third-ish, and then a mechanism effect. So where am I? Just a little further, you think to yourself, coming down this passage before, there was a crack in the wall and that enormous mushroom. Yes, there to the left. Your heart drops. Wait, this can't be the same passage. There was a puddle. That can't be the same one. There were little frogs and beetles before. I think it's just the left and right up this way. You continue to wander, muttering to yourself about tiny creatures and fungus. Return to the previous stairwell, or if on the first floor, return to your starting area. End your turn. So it's just a thing that can happen, and these always end your turn because it'll be something that happens as you're playing. So I'll let you know how playtesting goes, and maybe I'll just show you a couple more of these. So we got stuff like infected wound, mushroom, which that one's really cool, and some of them actually have multiple outcomes where you can choose what happens. So anyway, that was a test of the new camera, and give you guys a look at our new plot cards, and we'll let you know how playtesting goes. Thanks if you took a look at this.